I hope you're having a good day. My name is Hadil. I'm a final year chemical engineering student. My graduation project is about designing a plant to produce hydrogen from agricultural residue using gasification process. And the idea of the project actually inspired me to present this presentation and talk about this topic, how hydrogen production via gasification process can be seen as an environmental option. The points to address in this presentation are hydrogen and sustainable energy transition, gasification process, global municipal and agricultural waste, potentials and challenges that face hydrogen production using gasification process. Um, there are many reasons that can be considered as motivation for the sustainable energy transition, including the depletion of traditional sources as it's known, um, the increase of prices of oils and natural gas, especially in the recent few years, um, which also has been accelerated due to the European situation. Um, the aim to provide energy security, which means that we want to have a diverse energy sources, and to also to ensure the access of energy for everyone all the time, uh, which is as mentioned related to the goal of diversity of energy sources. Another attractive feature about hydrogen is the diversity of sources and production methods, um, because as known, hydrogen cannot be found as an element since it's very reactive, but it's found in the form of compounds, um, in water, in plants, in many organic materials. So all production methods are about extracting and separating, or separating to be more specific, separating hydrogen from these compounds. Many sources can be used as said. They can include using electrodialysis to produce hydrogen from water, um, using of gasification process, using of steam reforming, which is the most used method to produce hydrogen from natural gas. And there are many new and recent technologies that seems to be very promising too. The gasification process, it's mainly the process of converting organic materials to syngas. Um, it consists of the following uh, main steps: drying of the biomass, since different organic materials might have different amount of moisture and volatile matter that should be removed before the gasification process. The pyrolysis, which is the process of heating the organic materials uh, to decompose it. So it's basically incomplete combustion. It's a heating process. Um, the third the third step is the combustion, which usually happens in gasifier or R-Gibbs reactor, where different hydrocarbons burn in presence of oxygen. The fourth step is reduction, which result in forming hydrogen and CO. Uh, and you can see the figure below that illustrate these steps. Um, so we can say that hydrogen is 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 already present in the syngas, um, and then all the following or subsequent processes are about upgrading and increasing its concentration, which might include filtering, separation, flash separation of vapor, um, using hydrocyclones, reverse osmosis filters, and introducing the syngas into water gas shift reactor to increase the concentration of hydrogen by reacting the present CO with the steam. Um, there are many reasons that why this process could be very interesting and attractive, since many types of feed can be used, many types of organic matters can be used, including coal, agricultural residues, plastics, paper, woods, and many others. And that leads to the following topic: global municipal and agricultural waste. According to data provided by the World Bank, um, this is the global distribution of the waste produced. The majority of it are food and greens, followed by paper and cardboard, and also plastics, which can be seen that a great amount of the produced waste is classified as organic materials. Unfortunately, most of these wastes are not processed properly. Um, so in some cases, it might introduce environmental hazard. Um, aside from wasting its potentials, recycling in some cases and in some regions might not be the most economical alternative. So they usually either buried or burned, and this is not a great option if we consider the efforts towards reducing CO2 emissions. So we can say that these two problems seem to be very related and can be solved in a conjugate way. Um, we want to produce hydrogen since it has many um, useful applications and promising applications. Um, Traditionally, it was used mostly for ammonia production, for filterizers production, um, and also for transportation, and as a source of energy too. And we also have the problem of waste, it not being managed properly or treated properly or utilized properly. So if we can find a way to use the waste that we produced to be the energy that we need, we can make a great use and solve a really big problem and gap that we already have. Um, but there still might be some kind of challenges, uh, although that this technology seems to be very promising. First of all, one of the most, you know, one of the most uh, important problems about hydrogen production is the needed infrastructure to distribute the produced hydrogen, which is in many countries is lacked. So that seems to be a great deal of work to consider, firstly. Second of all, according to the World Bank, um, there is a gap we can clearly see um, between different countries and the effect of income on the produced waste and the collection um, systems or collection of these wastes. So that's a problem to consider. So in some areas it will be easier to have full access to the produced waste. In other areas it's not. That leads to the problem of transportation of the waste to the plant or collection of this waste for the production process. Market competition and policies. I think I also have attended one of the sessions in the conference, which was talking about um, the European case, hydrogen production, taking the Europe as a case, um, and the panelists said very interesting things. Um, One of them was how the policies affects the investments and the interest towards certain technologies, which might ease the production and ease the transformation to use that energy source. And it's very similar to this case, unless there it was provided easier access and suitable infrastructure were provided to collect waste and suitable infrastructures to to transport these waste to production plants and suitable market composition was given to this technology, it would be more challenging and would seem as a far future or long term technology to be used. Um, the cost also is a very fatal element um, between different hydrogen production methods. Um, Gasification is not the cheapest one, since the burning, the steps needed in the gasification process, um, and the steps needed to upgrade the quality of the hydrogen in the syngas are all happen in 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 relatively high temperatures. Um, this process in general seems to be more energy intensive than the other hydrogen production technologies, and more work and development are needed to reduce the production cost to make it even more competitive with other hydrogen production alternatives and with traditional energy sources such as natural gas and other oils, other fuels. Um, Recently in Africa, um, 5 different hydrogen production plants, I'm sorry, um, have been found. They are recently under construction or on commercial um, operation. One in Egypt, which is mainly focuses on ammonia production. The other is in Morocco, in South Africa, in Kenya, and in Mauritania. Um, they all use different technologies for different production aims. And actually, that seems to be very promising for other African countries to consider or to follow their steps too, since the continent already faces great electricity access issue um, that have been increased with COVID-19 pandemic and the global energy crisis and the increase in natural gas and fuels prices too. Um, so if we were able to invest the the agricultural um, economy or use the agricultural economy that we have, since we export many valuable um, crops that leave agricultural residues that can can have the ability to produce high quality um, hydrogen. If you were able to use that in addition of using energy, if we could integrate that with natural energy sources that we have, such as um, sun, solar energy, and wind energy, and so to to recover or to cover the electricity issue that we have, especially since majority of countries, as reported in International Energy Agency reports, recent reports, um, many regions in Africa are off grid, so they don't have access to electricity at first place. So if we can produce hydrogen by solving these two issues and using all the potentials that we have, seizing all the opportunities that we have, that can actually increase um, the continent economy, solve environmental issues, and utilize byproducts that usually burned or buried or used partially in local industries, such as as a fooder or to to make this local kind of um, buildings, um, and to to play a bigger part in the hydrogen market, the market that seems to grow every year. Um, that would definitely provide more opportunities, open more jobs, and and it seems to be very practical uh, solution, you know. Um, so yeah, I think that hydrogen production and gasification process and waste are three and energy, energy production or power generation. These 4 points are very related, and if we were able to find solution to solve all these problems, to utilize all these problems, um, you will help a lot of people, and we can, utilize many of the available resources. Finally, I left the QR code to International Energy Agency Global Hydrogen Review for 2022 report. It was very helpful. Um, one one of the greatest reports I've ever read. It contains more detailed information, global survey of the global hydrogen, or I mean, very extensive survey on the global hydrogen market. Um, very detailed. It addresses the different issues that might be faced, the greater or the largest countries that produces hydrogen, the potentials that can be seen, the different new technologies that are used, and the situation in many regions or many countries globally in hydrogen market. Um, it also has more detailed information about hydrogen market growth and some sort of tracking of the progress of net net zero 2050 plan. So yeah, I think it would be very helpful if anyone wanted to have more information about this topic. Thank you so much.